Probably be better to do it before we get 12 inches of snow. More.
You want that?
Just making it up.
Okay. Any other comments? 5-1. 17 Superintendent Monica Henson school budget rescheduled for the 3rd.
Yep.
5-2 auction meeting house historical preservation committee rescheduled to 2-3. Okay, Maine Forest Service grant, Oxford Fire Department, 244750.
So the fire chief is here tonight as well. He applied for a Maine Forest Service grant for purchasing of pagers and hoses. It is a 50-50 match grant. So they're providing us with 2447. We have to provide the same. And so asking that the board accept the funds, and if you have any questions, the fire chief's here to answer them for you. I did include a copy of the fire chief's letter and so forth.
So wish of the board.
Motion to accept.
Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone meeting policy? Continue.
All right, so this is a continuation of a couple of meetings. In short, one of the things that was brought up was that there was concern about executive session. So what I've added in this draft language is to address the concern about executive session. If you look, I've also highlighted it. The language, a member of the body who participates remotely will be considered present for purposes of a quorum in voting with the exception of executive session. Given the confidential nature of executive session, members will not be permitted to participate in executive session remotely. I kind of felt like that was a broad stroke, but addressed the concerns. And the rest of the changes we've discussed along the way are still in place. If you guys are comfortable with that, I would ask that you adopt the policy.
Yeah, I just, what's going to constitute the need of that remote meeting?
It could be as simple as if you were sick at home and wanted to participate from home, or if we had a major snowstorm and we wanted to still hold a meeting and we all were doing it remotely, and it could be a whole host of things.
But we haven't really addressed them.
No, we haven't set what those parameters would be. I think that would be up to the board at the time to, it would just allow any of you to participate remotely. It does say in here, though, if it gets abused, that you guys would bring it back up and revisit that and see if it's not working.
Okay, you answered my question.
Discussion.
Having trouble tonight?
Yeah, I'm having more trouble with that. Motion to approve. Get a mouthful. Marijuana business license renewal, Bog Brook Biotechnicals.
All right, so this was brought up at the last board meeting. There were some questions regarding, just regarding the process. So, I've got a, I put information in here, and I'll go right straight to the manager's recommendation. And after reviewing the application, it appears to the manager that all the requirements are met, and the recommendation would be to approve. I can go into further of the findings if you want, or not.
Was this the one that there was a question about a new owner?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe that should be explained, because I think that's where
Sure.
there were questions at the last meeting.
Yep.
But if you would like me to, I will. I'm Lance Pierce. I'm the one who put in the application last time for Kennison. I apologize for any confusion. We weren't sure how to proceed because, under the old, where we fell under, it was the building that was, had the license. So to explain how I became involved briefly, because I think there was some confusion there. I came on 3 or 4 years ago as a helper for Dennis. Dennis was renting the building from Neil, and then it became, he had more room than he needed, and he offered me some room. At the time, I was a caregiver. I only was growing for myself and family, and then I got the rest of my cars, and I've been there. And then 2 years ago, we bought the building from Neil, both Dennis and I did. And then that's how I'm involved. We assumed, and I'm sorry for that it went with the license, the building. And then when we put it in, we thought it would constitute a renewal, not a new one, because it didn't seem we need to go in front of the planning board, if that makes sense. So, again, I take responsibility for the confusion about that.
Okay. And that's one of the things they explained in the explanation is about that the building, the site has already been reviewed by the planning board, so the use is acceptable. It's just a matter of now we have a new card holder, if you will.
So it's not a renewal, then it's new.
I think we could
Yeah.
say that it's a new.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And I resubmit it and put it as new and a few other things.
And some of the other confusion was it happened on the old application.
Right.
That's why there was scribbling marks all over it. So now it's on a fresh, up-to-date.
Motion to accept.
And got a question here. It says no retail location provided on your medical marijuana.
Yep, so it is a medical marijuana cultivation facility alone, that's it. There is no store there, I'm not putting in for a store, Dennis doesn't want it. So at this time, that's the way we have it, that's what we're comfortable with.
So, motion,
I made a motion to accept.
any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a dog in the car, so I have to run.
Okay, it's fine, you can
Okay. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kingston.
Okay. Abatement, Sarah Christopher Dewart, in the amount of $46.42.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Payment Timothy Jackson in the amount of $36.45.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Payment to Kennison Real Estate in the amount of $429.
Motion to accept. Move. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Supplemental tax for David Barrett in the amount of $1,714.50.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Approval of application of CMP pole location.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Department head report.
Well, with the change in the meeting, I didn't end up putting one on there. I had Patty originally, but then with the shifting the schedule, so we'll have somebody for you next week.
Okay. Town manager's report?
Sure. All right, so I've included some information for you folks in there about the town office. I was hoping to discuss the what we want to do there as far as temporary town office or staying here. So in your packets, I kind of outlined the potential expense of what it would cost us to move over to that mobile office unit if we put it over near the rec center. And if you look at, once you've demoed and all the other things, the total for a 2-year cycle, because we talked about a two-year lease of the building, a rental of the building, would cost us about $75,000 to take that route. Now these are all estimates. Obviously you understand that it could be more or less. Obviously, probably more. So we've got three options I'd really like to talk about, and that is one, doing the temporary mobile office over there. The other one that we've talked about in the past was looking at putting a temporary cubicles in the rec center, and then we've also talked about should we just stay where we are. If we end up staying where we are right now until we get the new place built, and we are underway with working on getting the contract sorted out for architecture. If we stay here, I really think that we probably should not renew the real estate contract that we have, the listing, because we're going to stay here. Why do we want to put ourselves in a position where we're going to need to get out of here in 30 to 45 days when we're not ready? If we are going to leave, we should just do it at our own timetable. So I'm looking to the board and asking, frankly asking for direction. Is it one of these three things look like what you want, what we should be doing? If we're going to move out, do you want me to renew the listing? What direction do you folks feel like we want to go? I just kind of feel like we're at the fish or cut bait kind of point at this particular moment. That's all.
Did they give you any time frame on if you told them you wanted a building, how long it would take them to get it set up?
They
did
had
you ask?
one. They had one available, and as long as we had the site prepped, it was pretty immediate. So, but that was available as of last Thursday, and it sounds like they had interest in these office buildings, but they also have them coming available too.
Right, and there's more than one person that's got them also.
Right. And we just happen to be talking to Sciabi in this.
Well, I mean, that's where I would think we'd try to do business if we could.
Right, go down the street.
With the trouble you had this week, I mean, do you really want to move out of this until it at least warms up? Because we're gonna have to pay to heat it anyway.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, and at least if there's people here, if something happens, you see it before it becomes a catastrophe. But
I think there's pros and cons to all the approaches. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Staying here, we don't have to pay for moving twice. Staying here, we're looking after the building. If we leave here, is it possible that maybe we consider just winterizing the building and making it so that all the facilities are just off, like you would your camp or something? If we go to another location, it's probably going to cost a heck of a lot less to heat whatever small alternative we do. Like the rec center, it's all one level. It'll be 100% ADA compliant, as far as access and so forth. So, I mean, I think these are three good choices.
Well, I think you've done your homework.
I would say that I am not in support of taking over the rec center for 2 years with no alternative place for that to be. That option is not on my list of things to do.
The rec center option wouldn't be an option for me to consider either. I think that needs to have to look at what it is. If we stayed here, I can't see why we would continue to advertise to sell, because we saw what just happened. Somebody's gonna wanna buy, and we're gonna have to be out. I think we do need to look at doing something. I wouldn't, well,
Do they feel they got it fixed?
Well, in an effort not to shoot ourselves in the foot as it's on the market still, I mean, yeah, it's fixed, but more needs to be done. You know, it's the boiler down there is older than most people sit at this table. And, you know, it's,
Well, except for quality, right?
well, that's why I said most. But, sorry. No, so it's quite old, it's quite worn out. We replaced several of the components, you know, of it, but still there's more, you know, more to go. So he said, the gentleman that fixed it said that he'd be recommending that we replace it if we weren't.
Because the report is not here, right?
Right?
So, what about, I mean, we're going into February now. What about at least staying here until
Spring.
spring? And then see, are we doing the option of the okay, tearing down the old town police station and then we'll decide?
I mean, if you start that now, it's gonna,
That was my question.
it costs you, it's gotta cost you more money than if you waited till the wall.
Yeah.
And the same with them setting up a portable classroom. I mean, I know they can do it.
But hooking everything up, I think it'd be easier this spring than it would be right now.
Let's readdress it, Tom. That's my motion.
We're only looking at 2
I think it's gonna be spring, we'll decide.
February, March, April, May. Yeah.
So, I mean, between now and then, we could even get the site completely prepped. I think that old.
You're gonna tear that down anyway,
It
right?
needs to go away. I
Get
think.
rid of it.
Right.
So we can do that fix now and then.
Come back with a timeline on how long it will take to do that, how long it would take to get that building
Set up and ready to
set
go.
and ready to go. It may, I've looked at it, it's gonna be at least March, if not April. It's February next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in a March, at a minimum.
What do we readdress it to?
That was the motion.
That was the motion.
That was the motion.
I hear a second.
I'll second it, the motion.
Hmm? Oh, I didn't know.
Well, just have
We
your
were just having discussions.
Yeah.
any more discussion on it.
Yeah, but soon we get a better pipeline, so
Yeah.
this is gonna take my time, that's good.
Yes.
Timeline? Can you get the timeline on how next week? We went to see Arby's after our next meeting. It may be 2 months, 3 months anyway.
Right, I mean, my understanding in talking to them on the phone is they have one available right now, so it'd be a matter of site prep and then we just set up a date for delivery,
So how
so.
long is it gonna take the site prep? For them to tear it down the whole way?
Jim feels he could have that site ready to go in a week. Yep, so he'd go in there, he'd flatten it, he might have to, depending on the condition of the slab, he may or may not have to, you know, remove it, you know, if it's too cracked and broken. But if it's in good enough shape, he'll be able to level it off, kind of like he did for the road over at Park Road. So he's pretty confident that he and his guys can get that done in a week. But thoughts on the listing though, before we get away from this?
I'll list it right now.
How long are we still?
It's just expired, so it's up for renewal right now. So it's, the way it reads is it's actively listed for 6 months, and then for 3 months after that, if it happens to sell, it reverts back to the broker again. But we need to sign again if we want to continue to have it listed, so.
How many has he brought you?
He's contacted me probably about 7 or 8, but you've seen how many have come forward to you both. A lot of good intentions.
That's true.
What do you wanna do?
Well, you know, I mean, he has got a point. If we're not looking at, I mean, although, you know, my other time somebody come and made us an offer and said we're gonna be in spring anyway. But I mean, I guess if the guy's actually, so he's actually got it for another 3 months, or he's not actively gonna use it.
He's no longer, yeah, he's waiting for a renewal, just if somebody happens to come back and wanna,
What are we paying for another 6 months?
for a listing? No. Because he gets commission
Going
himself.
to be out of this building next 6 months.
Okay. If that's what everyone wants me to do, I'll let you.
I will make a motion to renew the 6 months.
I assume you guys are okay with me signing.
Second. All in favor? Selectmen items. Anybody got any? Signed warrants, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and 86.
Stronger? There's a lot of other stuff.
One ball mine? Looking at that big one over there.
Yeah.
Well, we approved it. So it was, broadband?
Broadband. It was a total of what, 130 total, and we were gonna take 30 of it, roughly
140.
140, and we're gonna take 30 of it from the cable fund, and then the rest of it.
Honest, did vote on it.
I know we did, I just can't remember it being that much for our portion.
Yeah, it's like 110 plus the 30 from cable
Okay,
fund.
that's probably.
140 total.
Can I ask,
Already signed it.
just to define what you guys decided on the building? I was
This?
gonna, not this one. The one over there, the police station, did you decide to take it down now?
So I got,
My understanding is that we want a more firm timeline on when the Sciabi building might be available, but also we're gonna wait till March before we move forward with anything. Yes, I'll bring it up in the spring, I guess, and we're realistic.
You are going to choose that. You're not choosing somebody about this one.
Yeah, I mean, you get today, it's in between plow and snow, we probably take right over there.
Okay? Drive the cart right through it.
I don't need to.
I don't think it's very bad.
And that's what we're comfortable with all the time.
Say goodbye.
They're gonna tear it down. Yeah, well, I got that, but I thought the way this side is talking, it was gonna be in March, and this side was talking, it was gonna be.
I don't think they know when yet, just that it's probably gonna happen.
But the building should do
I was gonna say, you can tear the building down and get it ready for it. Well, or what?
Just said we would.
Yeah, but I mean, now,
Yeah, we just said we would.
it's been 4 years now.
It's been 4 years.
We've been talking about this now for the 3 years.
That's a long meeting, that's 4 years.
Hey, do you need a training exercise there? Hey, Chief, do you need a training exercise? Burning a building down?
One by rec? We already looked at it,
Too close to the wires.
Well, that,
Too close to the wires?
it'd only be a 10-minute training.
Is there any good flooring in there? Because we need some.
Is there any floors at all?
I did have a question. Somebody was looking at us.
Oh, really? And as an FYI, the board while you're still signing, we had contractors looking at our flooring and bathroom and so forth. We're trying to get somebody to come in to take care of the bathroom. We're still working on the flooring.
I don't know if that's what it's been a while. I don't remember.
Insurance is taking care of it. Insurance is taking care of the floor and the bathroom, and we're working on it. No, we've already filed a claim.
I don't think we only interviews, but
Yeah. I'm also looking into a different insurance.
How long have we been with this one?
Job security with them.
What's that?
How long have we been with the company we're with now?
Chalmers is 5 or 6 years, I think.
Time check.
Yeah, we've been.
RFP.
What's that?
You did an RFP on that?
For Chalmers?
Yeah.
I've requested.
Are you going to put Maine Municipal back in to bid?
I requested a quote from them,
From them?
and they're working on it now.
So, do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
No.
Oh, yeah. Am I rushing things?
Kind of.
motion to sign 182. Sign the 5 minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? None. So we have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Can I give these to you? I might have
Actually, yes. He's not saying at least 15 years.
Get it. I don't know what it was. Dave had lunch.
I think he's
That's what.
Only thing you can't do is like this.
Let's do it tonight and find it ready.
I guess they've been a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Have a good night.